¡Encontré a uno de ellos!
The dead guys looked like soldiers in one of those Central American guerrilla armies. Pirates with a manifesto. Psychos with a dream. That sort of bullshit. The radio. Maybe I could send out an SOS.
Disparos en la cubierta inferior. Vete a ver qué pasa. Asegúrate de que los burros no derrochen municiones con los tripulantes. Todos los demás siguen buscando.
It certainly wasn't the first time I'd woken up with a hangover, long after a party had turned sour. The need to get out of the boat's hull and onto the upper deck as soon as possible was countered by the probability of running into another hijacker. I had to move carefully. Fire was sucking oxygen from the room. I didn't care if I got shot the second I got out of there. I needed one more gulp of fresh air before I died. It was like the need for a wake-up whiskey after a 2-day bender. How to shut off the fuel feeds. Move, Max. There wasn't much air left. I shut down one engine, but it didn't make much difference. Sucking oxygen from the room. I didn't care if I got shot the second I got out of there. I needed one more gulp of fresh air before I died. It was like the need for a wake-up whiskey after a 2-day bender. I shut down one engine, but it didn't make much difference. Breathe again. Now the boat could get back to smelling like suntan oil, stale margaritas, and greed.
¡Cúbrame, por favor! ¡Sí, sí! ¡Está cubierto! ¡Esos brazos
So this was the famous Panama Canal. We could have gone to the moon while I was passed out and I wouldn't have noticed. While I'd been dead to the world, some of my shipmates were just plain dead. Where had they taken them? It was a different scene than the one I'd stumbled away from. Where was everyone? I still didn't know what the hell happened. I didn't like to think what was behind the door. The guys up ahead weren't dealing with passengers like the rest of them. Maybe I should have realized then that this was no ordinary kidnap job. Something on the boat had attracted the sharks. Whatever they were looking for appeared to be gone.
¡Puta, aquí no hay nada! ¡Miguel! ¡Vení para acá!
There was something firing these guys other than good old-fashioned socialist zeal. What were they looking for?
¡Hombres, adelante!
was on a ghost ship in a ghost canal. The whole thing creeped me the hell out. The boat was well appointed. Maybe there was something on the bridge. I checked every other inch of the boat. I spotted Passos and Marcella. If I'd known back then that they'd been up to no good while I was fighting my way through a band of violent paramilitaries and a worse hangover, I might not have wanted to get over to them so bad.
Hey, Passos!
At the time, I hadn't thought too much about this. I hadn't thought too much about anything. Now I remember it, it didn't seem quite so kosher.
What about, what's her name? Daphne.
Do whatever you think is best.
I think it's best we try to go find her.
Yeah, okay, let's go. Now.
See, I didn't think Passos was a bad guy. He didn't need to try to save this woman or the crew.
Through here.
I didn't realize you knew your way around here. They were using that building to get across the canal. some equipment in the truck next to me. It'd be a shame to see. There was some equipment in the truck next to me. It'd be a shame to see it go to waste.
They're up there!
There was some equipment in the truck next to me. It'd be a shame to see it go to waste.
We can get across up top.
My judgment was lousy, but my hand was steady.
Come on, I don't know how much time we have! Go! Come on! She should be this way! Go!
There was some equipment in the truck next to me. It'd be a shame to see it go to waste.
There's gotta be a reason why they're going across the canal.
My judgment was lousy, but my hand was steady.
I'm moving! Let's go, you drunk idiot!
We can get across up top.
Professional soldiers, take cover, bro! Hands are being an idiot! We're good! We go, man!
I don't know what I expected to find. On a boat full of drunks and bullshit artists, I'd been the cabaret act. Shooting whatever came in front of me was easier than coming to terms with that reality.
vuelvo loco.
That looked like the way up, but it was locked. I had to find a switch. I blocked out all my questions. All I thought about was getting to Daphne Bernstein before it was too late. Jesus Christ.
Fuck, man. This is brutal. I didn't think things would be like this.
I should have jumped in that goddamn canal myself and swum my way back to New York.
Let me ask you again, Max. What do you think you were really doing in Panama?
I was drinking.
People died. Innocent people. Who do you think robbed you?
I don't know. I was told it was people who disliked Daphne Bernstein, something about an unpleasant divorce.
Her ex-husband worked on Wall Street. Do you think he has easy access to Panamanian death squads?
Guess I didn't really think about it.
You were smuggling something, weren't you?
No. I mean, I didn't realize it at the time. I didn't think too much about it, but yes, Marcelo did drive off with something. I don't know what. I didn't see him until we got to Brazil a week or so later.
I think it was money. I think Marcelo and Victor have a friendly banker there in Panama. Your little cruise was to deliver the cash to him because there it's easier to launder.
But I thought the Broncos were rich.
Rodrigo's rich. The other two, they live well, but they don't have real money. Victor's campaigns were always financed by his brother. That is the way among certain rich families there. The eldest brother's the king. You know, he gets everything. The other two, not so much.
And now Rodrigo's dead.
Exactly. And Marcelo, too. It's an awful tragedy for Victor, huh? A man running on a law and order ticket, you know, whose brothers have both been killed in such terrible circumstances. A true patriot.
What about Marcelo?
Marcelo was an idiot. Were this true, I certainly don't believe he could possibly have known about it. But I do believe some other scheme, you know, some other bullshit. Whatever that cash was, Victor could have talked him into something. I don't know yet.
And Passos?
Raul Passos is a bum ex-cop. He failed in America, failed in Sao Paulo. He was surrounded by more money and more poverty than his tiny little head can handle. You think guys like that can't be bought?
No, but if...
But nothing. He's probably not a bad guy. He's just a man caught in the crossfire of a very rich family.
What about me?
You. You're the fall guy. The American. Running around, acting like the action hero. Killing lots of people. You're a stroke of genius.
That ain't how it is.
You were an angry ex-cop. You were sitting in a bar with a history of violence and a history of a bad temper. You were perfect.
Me and Passos went to the academy together.
Did you?
I don't fucking know.
Okay, let's take a drive, Max. You want to do some good? Want to get yourself killed in a good cause? Then I need you to check something out for me.
Like what?
That incident at the favela today. Now, some of my officers say a bus drove off some captives.
They did, I saw it.
But no captives were ever booked.
They probably handed them off to the paramilitary death squads, the,
Caixa Preto?
Right.
Who did?
I don't know, the cops. The other cops, the cops who shoot on sight.
The UFE.
Right.
Max, you see that building there?
Imperial Palace Hotel?
Yeah, that's what it says. People go in there, in large groups, under armed guard. But it isn't a police station, and no one comes out of there.
Why don't you just go in and bust the joint, get a warrant?
I'm only a cop, Max.
So you keep saying. Time to find out what was going on here. I didn't fancy booking myself in the presidential suite, so went looking for the basement. I wasn't too excited about the acoustics in this place. A couple of gunshots would sound like I'd walked in here with a goddamn marching band. It wasn't pretty, but I guess none of what was about to happen was gonna be. It was the question I kept on asking myself. How could I have been so blind? I was convinced the Broncos had gotten the wrong man for the job, but maybe De Silva was right. I was the stooge.
Mesma coisa. O quê? Você não tá fazendo nada, tá fazendo tudo sozinho.
Como é que eu não tô pegando nada, rapaz? Tô trabalhando aqui, ficando de olho e tô escutando você reclamar.
Ó.
Olha o quê? Para com essa viadagem, para de...
Onde te atingiram? Consigo te ver, filho da puta! Cuidado, ele está vindo nessa direção! Porra, mata aquele desgraçado! Ele me cercou!
Alguém ajuda aqui! Ai, caralho!
Esta você não ganha não, amigo!
When you find yourself in hell, dance with the devil. I needed to find a way upstairs. Surely nobody would notice another hole in the wall. Creative. De Silva had promised me a 10 o'clock showcase. I had to make sure I was on stage and ready for my close-up.
Diga Becker.
I had to make sure I was on stage and ready for my close-up.
Diga Becker.
Que vim para ele.
Ah!
Ei, olha aqui. Tropa, ei, moço. Mano, esse cara aí.
Manda tua conta, rapaz.
Vai, fudeu! Meu conta eu quero tomar.
Ela não desgruda dela, mano.
Ei, quem é essa cara aí?
Convidado nosso. Quebra esse otário aí.
Deixa comigo, me dá uma lição nele.
Então, o pai dela não desgruda. Ladrão, filha da puta! Vai atrás de inocente! Vamos aqui! Esse aqui que você vai me proteger, caralho! Tá pensando o quê? Hã? Onde é que você vem? Fica aí, caralho! Eu? Se fudeu, filha da puta! Otário! Vai aí, otário! Deixa eu sair daqui, né?
Ô, segura a porta aí.
Eu vi uma outra versão. Vamos resolver aquela parada lá, hein?
Demorou. Valeu, amigo.
Hey, what are you doing here? Huh? I ask you a question. Answer him. Answer him. What are you doing?
What?
What are you doing here?
O que você está fazendo aqui?
What are you doing here?
I don't understand. I can't hear you.
What are you
What are
doing
you
here?
doing here?
Me in the ear.
Hey, answer me. What are you doing here?
Back in the precinct after all this time. Time to find out what the hell was going on.
Espera, tá lá!
I knew nothing resembling good times lay beyond that gate, but I was gonna have to face the music sooner or later. Luckily, I wasn't the only cop with a pill problem. I guess our little stunt helped some other civic-minded people raise valid concerns about community relations. Their faces said it all. I was on their side, but how could they know that? If they came through that door, I'd be leaving as a human shield and never leaving at all. Luckily for me, for once the police arrived just in time. It sounded like all hell was breaking loose. Whatever nonsense De Silva had pulled, it seemed to be working.
Só me achar que quero te falar.
Por favor, por favor.
Eu te fiz uma pergunta, porra.
A gente não tinha nada a ver com aquilo. Eu te prometo, cara.
It was time. The last few prisoners were trapped in here, and more presently, seemed I was too. The security switch had to be in that booth. It was Monday's arrest log, as far as I could tell. And no sign of anybody from Nova Esperanza. All those poor bastards have been checked straight into the Imperial Palace Hotel. That kid had the right idea. There was no point bouncing bullets off that thing. I decided I'd try to pick up where he left off. And then immediately regretted that decision. wasn't this nice? The perfect end to a perfect trip. If someone had told me 6 months ago this was where my life was headed, I'd have ordered a double of whatever they were drinking, drunk it, then blown my head off.
Que porra você tá tentando fazer? Quebra as pernas dele! Atira nele! Ah, droga! Que porra você tá tentando fazer? Quebra a cabeça dele! Eu tô vivo! Você tá morto! Droga! Por pouco! Seu filho da puta!
Another dark, rainy night. Another police station. Another futile crusade for amends. Time moves forward, and nothing changes. Every bastard in the joint must have known I was on the loose by now. I couldn't afford to waste any more time. Police food, the same crap the world over. But I could reminisce about the old days later. For now, there was more pressing matters to deal with. They'd come from the control room. It looked like the security cameras were still running. It looked like the prisoners were giving them a run for their money. That's what happens when you hand some roided-up halfwit a commando uniform with special on the front and let him ride around his hometown in a tank playing soldiers. Sooner or later, someone's gonna decide he's not so special. There were a bunch more in the elevator, tooled up like they were about to roll into Fallujah. And of course, they were headed my way.
E aí, fera? Prova um pouquinho de
If the heat was rising, that meant I was getting closer to the source. I had to keep moving. About the only friend I had left in that town. I saw the elevator doors were open. If there was one thing I learned since being in Sao Paulo, it was that me and the local elevators were not a good mix. Whatever depressing fate lay on the other side of those doors, there was no point in putting it off any longer. I'd killed more cops than cholesterol, and still no sign of Becker. It wasn't the first time it dawned on me I should probably have gone over the plan in more detail, but it was too late for that now. Sao Paulo's own David and Goliath. I'd pinned De Silva as a coward, but he'd risked more than anyone, and he'd never taken a bribe. If I didn't hurry, Becker would be long gone. AUP. Those were the guys who jumped the yacht in Panama. And what was this? Had the Brazilian cops tipped them off about the money?